Picture this. It's 3 a.m. and you're lying awake, staring at the ceiling. Your mind is a racing spreadsheet of every disaster that could strike tomorrow. The car transmission failing, your laptop dying right before a presentation, or a sudden medical bill for your pet. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, that check engine light isn't just an annoyance. It's a countdown timer to financial ruin. You know the feeling. That knot in your stomach when you reach for your wallet. That split-second hesitation before checking your bank balance. That quiet terror when someone suggests going out for dinner and you have to mentally calculate whether you can afford it without looking broke in front of your friends. This isn't living. This is survival mode dressed up in business casual. Most financial gurus tell you that you aren't rich until you have $1 million. They're wrong. There is a specific mathematical threshold where your body's chemistry actually changes, and that number is $10,000. This isn't some motivational speech about mindset or manifesting abundance. This is hardcore neuroscience meeting cold financial math. Today, we're performing a forensic audit on the first 5 figures of wealth to show you how $10,000 kills midnight anxiety and moves you from a financial sleepwalker to a sovereign architect of your own life. My name is Stick, and I'm laser focused on exposing the invisible equations and psychological traps that keep the middle class stuck on a treadmill. On this channel, we don't just talk about saving money. We deconstruct the systems that extract your wealth. We expose the mechanisms that keep you renting your own life instead of owning it. If you're ready to stop playing defense and start building an empire, hit that subscribe button. The first reason $10,000 changes everything is that it allows you to opt out of the Boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. This theory, popularized by Terry Pratchett, proves that being broke is actually the most expensive hobby you can have. A rich man can spend $50 on high-quality leather boots that last 10 years. The man with only $10 buys cardboard-soled boots that rot in a season. Over a decade, the poor man spends $100 on boots. Double the rich man and still has wet feet. This is the poverty premium, and it's everywhere once you start looking. When you have $10,000, you stop paying triple for toilet paper at the corner store because you can finally afford the $50 bulk pack at Costco. You stop paying the $35 overdraft fee, a 700% interest rate that would make a loan shark blush, because your account finally has a buffer. You stop buying the cheap vacuum that breaks after 6 months and finally purchase the one that lasts a decade. You stop renting furniture at predatory rates and can actually buy it outright. The poverty premium extends beyond physical goods. It's the late fees because you couldn't pay bills on time. It's the higher insurance rates because you couldn't afford the 6-month prepay discount. It's the expensive check cashing services because you don't meet the minimum balance for a free checking account. It's a systematic extraction mechanism that punishes you for being broke by making you broker. Ask yourself, how much of your respectable salary is currently being set on fire just because you don't have the cash to buy in bulk? How much are you hemorrhaging each month to the poverty premium tax? The Cortisol Audit. Reaching $10,000 doesn't just change your bank account. It literally changes your brain chemistry. Neuroscientists have found that having a 5-figure safety net reduces cortisol levels, your body's primary stress hormone. This isn't metaphorical wellness talk. This is measurable biological transformation. When you have 0 savings, your functional IQ actually drops by about 13 points because your brain is consumed by immediate survival. Think about that. 13 IQ points. That's the difference between average intelligence and struggling with complex tasks. You make stupid decisions, like taking high-interest payday loans or eating fast food, not because you're unintelligent, but because your cognitive bandwidth is maxed out fighting invisible fires. Your amygdala, the primitive part of your brain responsible for fear responses, is in constant red alert mode. Every unexpected expense triggers the same neurological cascade as encountering a predator in the wild. Your body floods with adrenaline, your heart rate spikes, your digestive system shuts down. This is why broke people often struggle with their weight, their relationships, and their health. They're living in a permanent state of low-grade panic. $10,000 is the IQ restorer. It moves you from panic mode to boring Tuesday. Suddenly, a flat tire is annoying, not apocalyptic. A medical copay is inconvenient, not impossible. Your nervous system finally gets permission to downshift from survival mode into a state where you can actually think strategically about your future instead of just reacting to your present. The decision fatigue firewall. Think about the mental energy you waste every day calculating whether you can afford the name brand cereal or if you should pack a sandwich to save $8. Should you drive to the cheaper gas station 3 miles away? Should you skip that networking event because of the parking fee? Should you risk the worn tire for another month? This is called decision fatigue. Each of these micro decisions burns mental energy. Psychologists have proven that we have a finite amount of willpower and decision-making capacity each day. Every trivial financial choice you make depletes this reservoir, leaving you mentally exhausted by noon. This is why CEOs famously wear the same outfit every day. They're conserving decision-making energy for the choices that actually matter. But once you hit $10,000, 90% of these daily calculations become irrelevant. You stop choosing between generic and name-brand pasta based on your bank balance. You choose based on what you actually prefer. You stop mentally calculating whether you can afford the $4 coffee. You stop doing poverty math in the checkout line. This frees up massive amounts of mental energy that you can redirect toward increasing your income, building skills, or actually enjoying your life. The irony is brutal. Poor people spend enormous mental energy on small financial decisions, while rich people conserve that energy for large strategic moves. $10,000 flips this script. Remember, the benefit of $10,000 isn't from spending it. It's from the knowledge that it's there, allowing you to breathe underwater while everyone else is drowning. The work scam and decompression spending. We often commit accounting fraud against ourselves by accepting jobs based on gross salary. If you make $65,000, you think you're doing well, but you might be spending thousands on decompression spending. The Thai food, the Friday night drinks, the impulse Amazon purchases, and the retail therapy you need just to numb the pain of the job. This is the hidden scam of modern employment. That corporate job pays well on paper, but it demands so much of your soul that you need to spend aggressively just to feel human again. You're not buying things because you want them. You're medicating yourself with consumption. You're renting temporary relief from a permanent condition of exhaustion and resentment. Calculate your true hourly rate after taxes, commute time, work wardrobe costs, and decompression spending. That $65,000 salary might actually be worth $22 an hour of genuinely improved life quality. But you can't see this trap when you're desperate for the next paycheck. $10,000 gives you walking away money. When you aren't desperate for the next paycheck, you carry yourself differently. Your posture changes. Your negotiation position strengthens. You can demand respect because you have the nuclear option of simply leaving. You can negotiate for a raise or even turn down a toxic job offer because you have 3 to 6 months of breathing room. The person with zero savings takes the first job offer they get. The person with $10,000 takes the best job offer. The person with zero savings endures abuse from management because they need the health insurance. The person with $10,000 sets boundaries and preserves their dignity. This isn't just about money. It's about power dynamics in a system designed to keep you compliant through artificial scarcity. The math of identity, the first $1,000. Saving the first $1,000 is the most brutal part of the race. It's like pushing a heavy boulder up a mountain. Every Netflix subscription feels like a sacrifice. Every declined happy hour invitation chips away at your social life. It requires constant willpower and saying no to your friends when they want to do expensive things. You're fighting your entire social programming. Consumer culture bombards you with 5,000 advertising messages per day, all engineered by psychologists to convince you that you're inadequate without their product. Your peers are spending money they don't have on things they don't need to impress people they don't like. Choosing to save feels like choosing isolation. But once you hit $10,000, the boulder reaches the crest. Everything changes. You've developed the identity of a saver. You've proven to yourself that you can control your money instead of letting it control you. This isn't just a financial milestone. It's an identity transformation. You're no longer the person who can't save. You're someone who builds capital. At $10,000, compound interest finally wakes up. At a 7% return, that money earns $700 a year for doing nothing. That's nearly 2 months of a $100 per week savings goal handed to you for free. Your money starts working while you sleep. This is the fundamental difference between trading time for money and owning assets that generate returns. A person with zero savings skips a $50 networking event because it's too expensive. A person with $10,000 goes, meets a contact, and lands a job that pays $5,000 more per year. Money doesn't just save money. Money makes money. Opportunity has a price tag, and broke people can't afford to pay it. The actionable exit. Reaching this milestone doesn't require living like a monk in a cave eating ramen for 3 years. It requires awareness. The average American spends over $3,000 a year on coffee, dining out, and convenience purchases they barely remember. These aren't conscious choices. They're unconscious habits that financial systems exploit. If you redirected just 1/3 of that discretionary spending, you'd have your $10,000 in less than 3 years. Not by deprivation, not by becoming cheap, but by becoming intentional about where your money flows. Step 1. Automate a small amount, even $25 a week, so it's treated like a non-negotiable bill. You don't think about paying your electricity bill. You just pay it. Your savings should be the same. Set up automatic transfers on payday before you have a chance to spend it. Step 2. Audit your digital vampires. Those subscriptions you forgot about that drain $15 here and $20 there. And examine your vampire costs. The lifestyle creep that comes with commutes, work wardrobes, and keeping up with coworkers. These invisible extractions are designed to be small enough that you don't notice them individually, but large enough to keep you broke collectively. The system wants you broke. Your employer wants you desperate. Marketing wants you insecure. $10,000 is your declaration of independence from all of it. If you're tired of being car poor, of being stressed by every check engine light, of feeling like you're sprinting on a treadmill that's slowly accelerating, subscribe and let's math our way to freedom together. Because financial peace isn't found in $1 million. It's found in the first 10,000.